Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily futures market review for the trading day ending Tuesday, July 12th. Well, firstly to the bonds and US 30-year bond futures, and here we see a confirmed change of trend today, candle forming a lower high and a lower low. And that followed the first black body that we'd seen in about a week and a half or so. The market previously rallying to the 177.11 high. Sellers coming in quite strongly in control, and strong follow through today with the sellers continuing with strong control. They have extended the size of the black body, so momentum to the downside has been strong. Importantly, the market closing just down below the Tenkan-sen, suggesting a potential change of sentiment in the short-term time frame. What I'd like to see to confirm, however, would be the market trading through this 173.25 level. Now, this was a previous level of resistance, which has now turned into support for today's trading. We see the shadow on the bottom, and it highlights that the sellers, even though they've been strong in the market, they did lose some commitment down through there, and they're unable to close the market down through there. So just let's watch how the market reacts here. And as we watch this new session trade, we are seeing this area continue to hold a support, but we are also seeing some resistance coming in just around the Tenkan-sen, which trades roughly at 174.06. So if we are going to see the market bounce back to the upside, we would like to see some strong bullish trading up above the Tenkan-sen, and we could eventually see a retest of this 177.11 high. If we do see bearish activity down below 173.25, we could end up trading down through to the Kijun-sen support, which is down at 171.15. In terms of Ichimoku, still a bull market in the medium and long-term time frame, strongly supported by the Chica span, but the market certainly was looking very overextended in depth of price action away from the firstly the cloud and the depth of the Chica span away from the corresponding price action. But what we're seeing now is an attempt of the market to mean revert to find equilibrium in these various timeframes. We certainly have found that in the short-term time frame, and there is a good possibility of the market testing back to equilibrium at the Kijun-sen. And as we move past the next couple of days, the Ichimoku cloud actually moves higher, and it will lessen the urgency then after a couple of days for the market to retrace quite solidly back towards that cloud. Now, just looking at the bands with the bonds, and previously we saw this strong bullish activity above the upper band, suggesting that we had a very strong bullish turn in this market. We had the bands pointing higher sharply, reflecting strong upside momentum to that bullish turn, and also the bands fairly wide apart. And it does seem as though we're now in having a cyclical event where the bands will start to squeeze up. What we're seeing here is the market mean reverting, meaning that strong volatility we saw previously in the market is not going to be there. And this happens in a cyclical manner, where markets move from strong trending activity back to either congestion or to a retracement of that previous trending activity. And when the market then finds equilibrium, we see in this case, when the trend in a longer term time frame is to the upside, the buyers returning back into the market. So that is a possibility. If we do see the market attempt to trade lower, looking to the middle of the bands at 172.05 to hold as very strong support. Any attempted rally may now start to find resistance at the upper band at 175.16. And next to gold futures, and very similar to what we saw with the bonds here, strong follow through after the black body candle, initiating some net momentum to the downside. The market traded through the 1350 level of support as well as the Kijun-sen support, but has found support down at this previous important area around 1329, an area that had held as resistance in the recent past. At the moment in this new candle, we are still seeing support coming in there. But if we do close down through there, very good opportunity for the market to trade down to the area around 1309, 1307, where we have the Kijun-sen trading, which should provide very strong support. Importantly for today's candle, there has been a solid extension of the black body, suggesting that momentum in net terms is still very strong. So we do need to watch this 1329 level very, very closely. And just looking at gold futures now in the market in a very similar way to what we saw with the bonds trading within the bands. Certainly not as dynamic uptrending activity as with the bonds, where the angle of that line up is probably not as great as it was and the bands aren't as wide apart, but certainly the implications are the same here by trading back within the bands. And it does suggest that that very strong bullish turn to the that we saw to the market has now ended. If we do see the market continue to trend down, then we will be watching to the middle of the bands at 1319 to hold as strong support. And that 1319 area coincides with the this previous swing high